Okay, so this is my exhibition and my rationale. So the thread in my exhibition reflects the symbolic connection light has in our environment. I focused on creating a sense of space and atmosphere in each piece to illustrate a narrative of evolving maturity in an individual by relating these personal connections with parallel comparisons in nature and allowing it to speak as our reactions. The light is to demonstrate guidance in our time of contemplation and providing nourishment in our development. I structured my exhibition by also contrasting the way the young interact with their surroundings to the matured. Light is embedded in our system since birth, which results in our undying curiosity to reach out of sight. Yet maturity brings an understanding of the intangible and limitation to the imagination. We start to follow what's visible while seeking answers from what surrounds us. When formatting my layout, I wanted to present an arrangement that establishes the immediate relationship between man and nature by portraying the beginning of new life that's surrounded within nature and Mother Nature herself. With my thread also including light, I wanted to also show this connection by how we interact at different stages to the guidance that's given to us. I thought of light as a key that holds youthful questionings in our mind with the desire to explore our purpose. And over the course of my exhibition, the shift of innocence and ignorance that's projected shifts at the introduction to the humbug effect painting, where the fox acts as a demonstration of understanding one's element and using their traits to their advantage. The emphasized character of the fox shows the evolution that's required to survive your environment. I made this connection to demonstrate the similarity between a person and a fox. The primal instincts must come out to quickly adapt outside of one's normal element. Once recognition is given to ability, it becomes a moment of understood purpose. I chose to work with paint, photo, and sculpture because these can be best manipulated and used together to create mixed media. I used this for some of my pieces where I wanted a painting to have dimension and an interactive feel. I purposefully chose to continue with my photography and test my limits in capturing a new idea and going beyond a raw photograph. I looked at this as a chance to treat this element as a painting and execute the final product to best fit with my original idea. I wanted to have my pieces laid out to fit the order of a journey to start from young innocence to realization of maturity and purpose. Ending my exhibition with a hidden gem is to give a positive outlook to the ending of my exhibition, which can be related to viewers with personal connections. I wanted to also present my exhibition by accompanying each piece with music that correlates to the environment unique to the piece, because I felt that this interactive element will help the viewer get a personal sense for the surrounding, which also allows them to use more than just their visual sense. So my first piece was an origin. So this sculpture marks the beginning of evolution, connecting nature to our reawakening soul surrounded by the fundamentals, which is water and light. This harmony between man and nature is established at the beginning when a new soul has more light to give than fear of ignorance. And now the song that accompanies the piece is played at the bottom. The music should be below the image. Yeah. Okay. So my next piece is Mother Nature. The Mother Nature piece shows the first stage of growth that relates to the early connection to man. The growing belly is to show the evolution in our society and an important relationship that we have to nature. With birth, we are given light to see the value of what surrounds us. Okay. So my next piece is Found Fantasy, and the book relates to stories that should be shared with the young to ingrain an understanding of their surroundings and develop moralities from passed down generations and stories. The light that illuminates from the book is to show the guidance that comes from inside The more knowledge that one obtains, the easier it will be for them to understand their place in society and how they can affect it. My next piece is redemption. The growing willow tree is illuminated by the light that encourages growth no matter the circumstances or atmosphere. To the smallest tree, this action is plentiful in its development, as it will soon outgrow its comfort and yearn a non-existing bound. The nourishment that's provided by the light is given back in exchange for extensive energy that's put out into the environment, as what you give out is what you'll receive. The Fisherman's Tale. This piece shows a comparison between a young and mature mind. A growing mind is more susceptible to their surroundings and show no restriction to what is possible. The kid reaches out to imagination, grasping what's not seen by others, yet the mature strive to obtain what is visible and in sight, or more realistic. Okay. My next piece is Another Realm. This is a stage of realization. The light contributes as a sole provider of guidance in a time of indecision. This piece is to also show how curiosity leads you to a place of finding new answers and discovery to your inner character. This stage is essential for development. Okay. The humbug effect. This phase marks the essential awareness that an individual is required to possess in order to obtain what they desire. Like a fox who understands their sly traits and uses them to their advantage to manipulate the scene in order to get their prey. This fox is to symbolize the next stage in evolution. We evolve to survive in our growing society and assert our position. The totem. This piece is to relate back to the humbug effect, and is to illustrate the juxtapositioning of two opposite beings coming together to meet at mutual grounds of similar traits. And much like a spirit animal who demonstrates similar traits to an individual, this piece is to show that specific correlation in how people show a primal side when faced with challenges. And in this case, the fox acts as a totem of guidance, as a piece from nature that is willing to help those who seek it. My next piece is Oh Dear. The skull next to the deer is to show what once was in the course of time and nature. As elements evolve, time changes our deception of what's around us, but the beauty still remains if the purpose is large enough. The Last Breath. I try to portray serenity and peace in what surrounds you. Some may find this suffocating, while others may find it purifying. This piece is to relate back to the origin and the beginning of how we must purify ourselves and rid the hatred to grow. And so my last piece is a hidden gem. This photograph connects to the last breath, which was the last image, and how releasing the negative energy allows you to find a new path and avoid carried baggage. In most cases, what's sought after can only be found in the most unusual circumstances. Nature around us shapes what we become and alters our perception. When we speak to the earth, it will teach you. The light that you give out will be returned.